Yeah. Okay. Whoa. It's release day. So happy to be part of this release. So the Drumlogue, thank you so much, Korg, for making this happen. It's a hybrid analog and digital drum machine. It's right up there with all of the other modern drum machines that are out these days. But I think that with the drum machine, or with any instrument really, the big question is, how does it sound? Does it sound good? And that's very heavily what this video is going to be focusing on. Sonic goodies with the Drumlogue. In terms of drum machines, some people have like a preferred sound. So a great example of this is the Drum Brute Impact. That thing has a sound and that's what you're stuck with. Love it or hate it. The Drumlogue is another drum machine that's sort of in that category. It has a sound, but they've done some clever things to not be boxed into that sound. I mean, first of all, you are able to upload your own samples, so obviously that takes you out of any sort of box. And also it's hybrid, so what exactly does that mean? Kick, snare, low tom, and high tom are all analog, as you can see right here. So in other words, like the boom boom drums, it's the way it should be. But even with these analog tones, you're still not boxed in because you're able to layer different sorts of transients over top of it to make it sound different, which we'll be looking into. Close hi-hat, open hi-hat, rim, clap, SP1, SP2. These are all digital, so you're able to swap these out if you'd like. There's also this multi-section here, so VPM, noise, and user. So this is another section we're going to be looking at. Before getting into the sonic goodies, let me give you a basic overview of the Drumlogue. First off, you have a nice visual of your patterns right here, so you can see the notes that you're plugged in. There's a chain mode right here, which is essentially a song mode where you're able to chain programs together to create a song. Time button right here where you can change the rate, so 16th notes, 8th notes, whatever you want. Triplet off, and the length of the pattern as well, so you could go as far as 64 steps, which is 4 bars. For the examples in this video, we're going to be keeping it a lot shorter than that. There's also loops, so within chain mode, you're able to maybe loop certain sections of the track if you want, maybe riff on something, and then continue on with the track afterwards. Obviously, there's a step sequencer as well. It reminds me of electron sequencers where you could go to a specific note and then change parameters on that note. So probability, alter, offset, which takes it a little bit off the grid, which is nice. So as I mentioned, it's hybrid analog and digital. It's also hybrid in the sense that you have like your screen here. There's quite a bit of menu diving, and then you have your hands-on control right here. So volume, decay, simple stuff like drive, snappiness, tuning. You have all your parts in front of you. You could also mute and unmute parts on the fly. So in terms of like performance, this is a great tool. Mind you, if you're familiar with the TR-8S, you could actually see the size difference here. There's a lot going on in this small space, so you kind of have to learn these controls with a bit of practice, but that's the way it goes. In terms of design and aesthetic, very slick. It's just full black, and like I said, it's quite a bit smaller than the TR-8S, so it's quite portable. So that's the overview. Before getting into these sounds, this video is sponsored by DistroKid. They are a music distribution platform, and they're specifically geared towards DIY artists and producers like myself. They have so many free promotional tools. We'll be talking specifically about one called Hyperfollow, which is essentially a free link in bio link. I use it on all of my socials and also on my single releases because you're able to claim as many pages as you'd like for free with Hyperfollow. Super useful. More about that later in the video. So let's get ready to put something together. You might be like, why the f is there a TR-8S here? Well, if you're familiar with another sequencer or drum machine like the TR-8S, chances are that you're able to control the Drumlogue with it, which is exactly what I'm doing here. I don't know, I just felt like this was kind of something cool to show you guys. It might seem a little bit redundant, but I like having these separate controls, sequencer and then crafting your sounds through the Drumlogue. So everything you're gonna hear is through the Drumlogue. As you can see, the TR-8S is not even plugged into audio. Of course, everything that I'm going to enter into the TR-8S, you could do the same thing in the Drumlogue, but I just wanted this to be focused on sound. Little side note, I also have the Empress Echo system, and it's on lo-fi setting, which sounds really good on these drums. Okay, so let's start with something. I'm not going to focus too much on the sounds for now. I'm just going to plug in a sequence. Here we go. So at this point, the sequence is cool. The sounds I'm not super down with. As is, this is already quite a busy groove, so I'm actually gonna mute some of these sounds. So multi, SP1, SP2, those are muted for now. I'm just gonna hit play and shape some of these sounds. These controls are quite straightforward. Let's go. just turn that on for a second. Check this out. Oh, come on. Off? Oh yeah, it adds so much. But we're gonna leave it off for now because this is gonna be a little bit deceiving. It just makes everything sound better. Here's where it gets really clever. I'm actually going to mute everything except for the analog sounds for now. If I hit part, make sure that I'm on the bass drum, and I could scroll down here. There's transient, and you could change these. I'm actually gonna mute everything but the kick and snare. Here we go. Let's see what this sounds like. That's a good one. So these transients really just completely change the character of that kick. Maybe a bit more. And that's it. So 16 transients. I liked quick attack. You have more control here. There's a second page of parameters as well. So attack, this is the attack of the transient. There's sweep, sweep time, and hold. So if you just roll down the attack to 0, that's what the kick sounds like. If you want to add some attack to it. There we go. So now we're getting a bit more impact on the kick. Exact same thing with snare. So part, snare drum, I'm gonna go down. These are the transients here. So 9 transient types for the snare. Personally, I actually like the 8 model the best, which I guess is sort of modeled after the 808, because it definitely sounds like it's influenced by that. Exact same idea with the toms. Let's go through both of those as well, starting with the low tom. Let's go. Tight attack is my favorite so far. Slap sounds a bit more like a snare. And that's it. So we're gonna go with tight attack for this one. And same thing with high tom. Even with the transients, with analog, it's hard to get away from that classic vintage, like kind of 808 sounding drum machine. And so that's where the digital samples come in to help to change the flavor of this entire groove. At this point, I haven't uploaded any of my own samples into the unit, so we're just going to be using these stock sounds to begin with. Part, closed hi-hat. I could change the hi-hat if I want. These are all stock sounds. Kind of like 2 actually, so let's leave that up. Of course, there's more parameters for these samples. Of course, these actually don't make too much of a difference because the hi-hat sample is so short, but I could tune it if I want. That makes a difference. The attack we're not going to play with because, I mean, you need attack on a hi-hat. We could change the start point, end point of the sample, resonance, drive. Right, so we have quite a bit of control there. And of course we have reverb and delay sends. Let's put put some reverb on these hats. It's very subtle at this point. The reverb is something that you could change later on if you want a different type of reverb. We'll look into that as well. We'll control one more of these digital samples. We're gonna go to clap. Exact same thing, here we go. Are you guys tired of this beat yet? Here, let me just switch it to whatever pattern I have on the TR-8S. Love it. I kind of like having this separation, so like completely just focusing on sounds. These don't change from one pattern to the next, and then you have your sequencer here. This is actually a really cool combo that I like. Looking at this multi-section here, this sort of brings us more into the modular realm, I would say. So on the TR-8S, this is my multi-track right here. I'm gonna set it to VPM. Let's see what sounds we have here. Oh God. Right away, let's change that. Throat, okay. Don't like that preset. Okay. So this is a pretty high note. We could probably change that. Yes, we can. There it is. Right, so these are just straight up synths. Attack, release. Basically just sounds like noise at this point. Different preset. Nice. Nice bass flavors. Noise is just straight up noise. Works in a similar way. Right, so you just have different types of noise. I mean, pretty self-explanatory, that one. And the third one is user, so this is where you would upload your own samples and you have the same control over those samples as well. So what other sonic goodies can we cover? There's this section down here, effects, so delay, reverb, and master. This is a delay send, so anything that you send to this delay will be affected by it. Same with the reverb. And then on top of that, we have master effects as well. There's like a compressor in there. So let's add a reverb onto that clap. I'm pretty sure it's already there, actually. I'm pretty sure I already added it. Yes, reverb 100%. So let's leave that there. Let's get a taste for what that sounds like. I'm gonna mute most of this except for kick and clap. Part, reverb, and this is where we could change our reverb settings. Level, let's blast it. Okay, types of reverb. Riser, let's check. Okay. A little bit more subtle. Right, so you have a bunch of different reverbs to choose. These are all pretty standard. I like space on this one in particular. Master effects. I'm gonna start with compressor. Let's see the difference that it makes. Right, so a very subtle difference that it's making. Yeah, it's just like a little boost. There's also an option of sidechain with this compressor, so if you want, you could sidechain everything to maybe the kick. Let's see what else we got. Filter, that's pretty self-explanatory. Boost, EQ, we're not gonna go over it. Let's check out boost. Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Jeez. This is my favorite one. Let's try combining these two. Oh. Now we're getting somewhere. As I mentioned, these other two options are pretty self-explanatory, so filter and EQ. There's actually something else that's self-explanatory as well, and that's using DistroKid as your music distributor. If you know, you know, but it might not actually be that self-explanatory, so Let me explain it to you. DistroKid is the music distributor that's geared towards DIY artists and producers. And so naturally they have a bunch of free promotional tools to help us promote our music. They're all free. One of them is called Hyperfollow, and it's essentially a link in bio link. It's kind of a curveball because you wouldn't expect a platform like DistroKid to be offering this sort of service for free. There's other platforms that offer it for pay, but DistroKid's free. I'll show you how mine looks, but first, I'm one of DistroKid's most active creators, and so they gave me this special discount link for you guys to use in case you're not already a member. Go to hyperfollow.com and reserve your username. From there, you can fill out your info. As a side note, other platforms charge you specifically for ad tracking. Hyperfollow offers this for free. And here's the final result. So I have my latest single, my latest YouTube video, social links, other important links I'd like to lead people to. It's all there, and it's one of many reasons to go with DistroKid. Thank you, Korg. Thanks so much to you guys. There's plenty of other day one guys that I'm sure are going to be covering like all aspects of the instrument. So I wanted to focus specifically on one part, what I think is the most important part, how the thing sounds. The sequencer can be great, but if it sounds like shit, it's a no-go. Like and subscribe for more of this. Maybe join my Discord. If you're planning on buying the Drumlogue, please consider using the affiliate link that's listed in the description of this video. It's a perfect circuit affiliate link. So if you use that link, I make a small commission from that sale and it doesn't cost you anything extra. So support what I do. Keep doing the dollars thing. Hopefully this was informative to you in some way, and see you in the near future. Hopefully. Bye.